On Pints with Acquaintances, Hannah Pearl Davis, aka Pearly Things, debated Trent Horn, the poster boy for conservative Catholic apologetics, over the question, is marriage a bad deal for men? This was not a landmark event. Matt Fradd hosted. He is someone, for all of his popularity, I have found many like minds dislike. The debate was 2 hours long, an hour longer than the content could support, at least on Pearl's behalf. Pearl came in with good talking points and a talent for aggravating her opposition. Trent came in prepared and left tarnished. But if anyone has any doubts, let me say up front that Trent steamrolled Davis. But at some point, very early on, the debate became more of a sideshow than a constructive clashing of ideas. Here's the thing. Life is not fair, and neither are debates. That seems to be something Davis missed on both ends. Davis can intellectually dominate e-girls, content creators of the OF and Fansly types, on shows like Whatever and Fresh and Fit. But against a professional apologist and debater who is a celebrity in his own right and an established public intellectual in the Catholic world, Davis didn't stand a chance. At one point, all I could think about was Anakin versus the younglings in Revenge of the Sith. Now, don't think that I'm pitying Davis. She has brought on and welcomed for herself all the scorn and criticism she has received. But as well as Trent Horn performed, every human moment he had during this exchange will be used against him in the future. Davis's fans will use his corrections and assertiveness to show that he is chauvinistic, snake-like, and two-faced, if not an outright hypocrite. And this is the most unfair part of the debate. Not Pearl's destruction at the altar of rhetoric and professionalism, but that Trent will be marred by both Pearl's fans and Trent's enemies for his participation in this farce. Pearl started off great. Her opening statement had actual points, showed a sense of humor, and a commitment to a cause she believes in. She gave both factual and emotional reasons to support her cause, and she laid out a path in her opening statement that she could have pursued throughout the debate to show that the unequal and unfair laws that favor women in divorce make matrimony a foolish risk for a man discerning marriage in this day and age. Unfortunately, she has not the maturity, the intellectual prowess, nor the debate chops to stay on the path she had laid out for herself in her opening. Instead, when she felt threatened or insecure, she fell back on catchphrases and simplistic, immature talking points, such as the attraction and attractiveness gap between men and women as they age, repeating complaints and platitudes against fat women and unhealthy sexual lifestyles, as well as destructive drug habits that lost their impactfulness the more Pearl repeated them. Pearl didn't start making real sense again until the question and answer period after the cross-examination. And even then, her immaturity and lack of depth got the better of her more than once. Pearl's closing statement was the most salvageable part of her presentation, as she rightly called out Trent for his slippery and unnecessary apologetic tactics. But what she made of it was less than nothing. Trent's opening statement was everything Pearl's entire showing was not. He had facts, data, and research to back him up. He had clearly studied up on Pearl's most commonly presented claims, and throughout the rebuttal and cross-examination, he had counterfactuals ready to go. He demolished her arguments, and he dismantled each of her claims and invalidated every one of her proofs. I've said before that Trent has never convinced me of anything, but that he is one of the best technical debaters I have ever seen. Like Dean Malenko in the height of the WCW days. It didn't matter if he won. It was a pleasure just to watch him work. And that is how Trent started during this debate. But at some point, Pearl's shallowness in her arguments, lack of professionalism in her presentation, and general unpreparedness got to Trent. And NWO Trent came out from the rafters. Instead of letting Pearl lose the debate on her own and make a fool of herself by shaming the principles Trent stands for, which Davis was playing at representing, Trent started putting her in her place, correcting her, disciplining her, and humiliating her. while it was entertaining to watch, it did both of them a disservice, as instead of Trent lifting Davis up to his level, he stooped down to hers. After all of that, you might think I'm of the opinion that this debate was a waste of time, but it was not. Trent doing exactly this debate against the red pill and black pill manosphere stars such as Rollo and Tate would have been amazing and well applauded. And that is not to say that Pearl did not have strong points that Trent should have contested with, instead of his tactically refusing to answer them. I understand why Trent couldn't take a sacrificial loss to this mad person, but he should have engaged her on the horrors that men face after divorce and the dangers that single men face in the dating world, which she presented against Trent. When people ask why I married my wife, who is from China, my answer echoes Pearl's concerns. I wanted to marry someone who was mentally stable, who had high ambition, a strong education, and who had few partners before me, who didn't partake in drugs or the party scene. I turned down women in my circle and held out for someone who met my standards. I think the quantity and quality of desirable potential available partners is a real concern for many men today. And I do think the legal system is set against the man in the relationship, be he father, breadwinner, or absentee deadbeat. But this debate never got into that, and that is a shame. Finally, this debate was a missed opportunity to counter the social influence of the leaders of movements which mislead the disenfranchised male. While it is easy for the casual observer to blame the failures and faults of this debate on Davis's immaturity and inexperience, this imbalanced debate only occurred because of the opportunistic nature of Frad and Trent, as Michael Knowles had already dismantled Davis on this topic. But it did not go viral, and it did not have the impact on the culture at large. Those of us whom disapprove of Pearl's messaging and associations hoped for. Someone did need to counter this cancer of hate, fear, misandry, and misogyny Pearl has been spreading through her dystopic, nihilistic social media outburst. But it is a message and scene that has been fading and whose relevance has been passing for some time now. This debate was needed, but it was needed 2 years ago, before Authentic Observer and Jordan B. Peterson dismantled it for the intellectually inclined. This debate was something more fitting for those who enjoy a low bar being stomped on and the low brow being humiliated. And I don't know if those who need this debate will be able to hear Trent over his outmoded sensibilities. Thank you and good night. Please like, please subscribe. I have a Patreon. You can support me through Patreon. You can support me through Streamlabs. I have merch. I appreciate all your support. Please like, please subscribe. Please comment down below. Please share the video. You know the drill. And I love you all. I'll see you all next time.